Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Washington Nationals March to October. We are coming off of a pretty rough episode. In the last one, we had 2 games where we entered in down in the 7th inning. In both of them, I failed to make a comeback in. And if this team isn't playing with positive momentum, we're probably not going to pick up too many wins. So we dropped plenty of games last episode, and we moved into what you would think would be our rightful spot as last place in this division. However, we still have a record of 41-34. That is a really good record for being last in the division. We are by no means out of playoff contention because there are 3 wildcard spots, and any of those 3 spots has our name on it. And pretty much that whole wildcard race is just a race with the rest of our division that's not from Philadelphia. We're also going to be starting this episode out in a pretty big way here because we had a chance to make a call up, and Jeter Downs is now in the bigs. And this player lock game is one of those player locks that will give him a chance to increase his attributes. But even if that gets completely failed, this was still a good call up because he's a 67 overall, and the guy who he replaced was Carter Kieboom, who's a full 10 overall points below at a 57. So regardless of how this goes today, it was still a good call up, but we have a chance to make it a great call up. If we play well with him today and he gets up to a 70, 71, maybe 72 overall, and that potential jumps up to a B, we're looking at another new really good prospect just out of thin air. I mean, he'd fit right in with all these other guys. He'd actually be a little further ahead than Ruiz, and then he'd be a higher overall than both of our other middle infielders, but you know, a couple years older, so it's all relative. And I'm gonna hold off on it for a little bit just because I went in and looked at the splits, and Dickerson against lefties got that average up over 200, which it hadn't been, so maybe he's turning it around against lefties. But what I was thinking I could do is, even though Abrams is just as bad, if not worse, against lefties with his attributes, he's still playing well. I think he was batting like over 290 against lefties, so he does have a secondary position of any outfield spot. So I was thinking against lefties, I could move Abrams out to left, and then Jeter Downs could start at short because he is pretty good against lefties. But like I said, we'll wait a little bit to make that move because maybe Dickerson is really turning it around all of a sudden. But I don't know, man. I can't help but feel like, especially if we get a good boost to Jeter Downs, we'd have to find a spot for him. We're also pretty much right at the halfway point in the year, but I'll wait where we'll look at our halfway point stats after we get this player lock out of the way, because then we'll probably be even closer to that halfway point. So let's go ahead now. Let's get into this Jeter Downs player lock, and let's hope that they have a lefty on the mound, which they don't, and they have Yu Darvish. That might be the toughest matchup we could have had. I bet Joe Musgrove would have been tough too, but he might actually be hurt, so he might not even be on the Padres right now in this March to October. Either way, it's a tough matchup, so we got to lock in. All right, so here we go. We're actually batting leadoff today, so that gives us a chance to have as many at bats as possible. And yeah, that's a tiny PCI, so hang on. What's he throwing? We got to be ready. Cutter, 4-seam slider, sinker, splitter. That's difficult. And that was very hittable of a first pitch. A little bit bigger of a PCI, and I probably would have hit it with that exact swing. Wow, he's throwing hangers here, and I'm not hitting him. Come on. Wow, just that slider. It's always the toughest pitch for me. All right, at bat number 2, we're down 3, and Darvish is only at 31 pitches through 4, so that makes me feel like we're not going to see anybody else this game. Are we being no-hit, actually? If I'm the leadoff hitter and my second at bat isn't coming until the 4th? Oh, are you kidding me? How did I miss that? What did I do wrong? It's not going to give me swing feedback. And we might, that guy on first, because it's the 6th now. That was our first base runner. God, I don't understand. Look at how far off I was on that. I am not seeing Yu Darvish right now. Yeah, I can't hit anything right now. Yu Darvish has like the exact repertoire of pitches that I struggle with the most, righty-righty. Like those slow cutters and sliders breaking away, I just have so much trouble with. And here we go. It is a new pitcher out there. Finally, we got to Darvish a bit. We have a run on the board and 2 on. This is a pretty big at bat. We can turn it all around right here. Nope, doesn't even matter. I was sitting heat there. That is the worst thing I think I've ever done. An 0 for 4 strikeout game in a player lock. I don't know if it's ever gotten worse than that in a March to October I've played. Yep, and we obviously got nothing. At least it can't go negative. A little bit of negative momentum, and let's just move on. Move on to the next game. Hopefully we can load in with like a 4-run lead so I don't have to do anything, because we got to have some kind of positive. We still, even without a boost, it was still a good call up like we already said, because he was an improvement to Keyboom. And we still could think about having him start against lefties if we find a way to do it. All right, well, we're just going to leave this the same and advance on another week here. And we'll see how bad things go. We actually won a game against San Diego, swept by the Mariners, and we have a fast track. Another fast track, okay. And Israel Pineda is back. We declined a chance to fast track him last time this popped up, and he's back. And this could be a big one. If I don't suck, if I can actually hit this time, and we turn him into a B potential 67-ish overall 22-year-old catching prospect, that could be pretty good. I don't know, even though he's already better than Riley Adams in terms of overall, but Riley Adams is actually filling the catcher backup role really nice this year. Like, he's got an 899 OPS. So like, I kind of don't want to lose that. So even with an upgrade, I might not call Pineda up, because it also could be helpful for him to not be a backup in the minors and get more playing time to progress. But we're definitely going to pick him here for a fast track. So it'll be another player lock chance, and hopefully a chance to immediately redeem myself after that terrible Jeter Downs game. So now we are exactly halfway through the year. We are 81 games in. Record is fallen now though to 42 and 39, so we're creeping back down towards 500. We've lost 8 of our last 10, but I do want to take a second to look at our stats, see where we are at the halfway point. We have 2 players who have played every game so far. Meneses DHing, hasn't missed a game, and Dom Smith at first, and they both lead the team in hits. Abrams is right behind though, 89 hits. If you double this, because this is a truly halfway point of the year, if you double this, Meneses is on pace for over 200 hits, and like Smith and Abrams here are on pace for about 180. That'd be really nice. Meneses is also on pace for over 50 homers. Lane Thomas has 13 at the halfway point, Garcia at 12, so we have 4 guys over 10 in double digits. So everyone here should technically be on pace for over 20. Be kind of cool if Luis Garcia is a 25 home run guy, 100 RBI potential out of the 9 hole. We have 3 guys batting over 300, Meneses, and then our middle infield. Corey Dickerson's right there too. Dom Smith also over 290. Ruiz right at 290. Couple of bench players in the 280s, and then it kind of drops off a bit. These guys were playing better. Candelario actually has spent most of the season right around 300, but I'm assuming this recent cold stretch has kind of ruined that. Robles is also all the way down to 250, so his numbers have come crashing down a bit. On base wise, a lot of players over 350. Candelario's still over 350, so he's still getting himself on base. Not a whole lot of strikeouts either, surprisingly. Lane Thomas leads the team with 64, so you figure that gets doubled. He's only going to strike out about 130 times, and that'd be team leading. I feel like that's not too bad. Abrams leads the team with 26 doubles, so he's on pace for over 50. We have 3 triples from Robles. Stolen base leader is Abrams with 9, but he's been caught 8 times. So yeah, that 14 stealing rating is really hurting him. Lane Thomas has only been caught once. Robles hasn't been caught at all. Fielding wise, some of our guys are having a tough year. Abrams with 12 errors at short. Candelario also has a fielding rating under 950. I don't know, I feel like it's tough to really get a gauge on how people field in this game, because like these are really the only fielding stats we have to go by. And then when it comes to wins above replacement, it's Meneses way at the top, 3.6, and he's DHing, so he's racking up all that WAR just at the plate. Garcia and Ruiz both over 2. Robles probably with some good defense in center at 1. Smith at 1.4, and then the only people negative are Alex Call and Jeter Downs in 7 at bats, so that's probably not good. That's my fault though. What about pitching? Trevor Williams has the most wins right now. He's 9-5. Josiah Gray leads in innings pitched at 118. He also leads in strikeouts at 123. Trevor Williams is also over 100, so both of them should be getting over 200. Strasburg, I guess for him, he actually could be on pace for a bit more because he's not truly, you know, he missed the first, what, compared to Gray, 5 starts. So he'll have 5 extra starts in the second half, so he could also get over 200 strikeouts. ERA, well, let's actually sort individually here by starters. So our best ERA for starters is Gray at 3.12. Adone is doing pretty good still too at 3.18. And then Williams, Cavalli, and Strasburg all in the low 4s. Gore is still working on his a bit. Gonna give him some time. Has Cavalli, he's come out of the bullpen a couple times. Okay, I think his ERA has actually gone down since then too. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see. I think Mackenzie Gore, when I changed him back into starter, had an ERA of like 7.50, so it got a little worse. So we'll keep an eye on him and Cavalli and see if we need to make a change back. Our relievers are being led by Erasmo Ramirez in innings pitched. He also has the best ERA at 1.08. Carl Edwards Jr. seems to be having a little bit of a rough patch because his ERA is up to 3.46 or 3.48. Nick Sandlin, he is kind of racking up the innings. I was kind of worried he wasn't. A lot of walks though for him, and that's his biggest thing. Mantiply doing pretty good, 1.65 ERA. Hunter Harvey still not a ton of work, so that ERA is kind of fake. Kyle Finnegan at 14 innings, 3.86 ERA. I thought he was a little better than that. And then Efros just is so new that he hasn't pitched much yet. So that's about it. So now we're ready to get into our next player-locked game of the episode. Down in AAA, and let's just go ahead and get into it. Pineda is a righty. We're facing a lefty, so that's already a good start. So here we go, batting 7th. So we're a little down there. We might have, you know, it might cost us an at-bat. So we'll have to make the most of what we've got. 3 pitches, 2 speeds. We couldn't have asked for anything better than this. I have to come through. Oh, we got hit. All right, on a 1-2 count, I fouled off a couple of pitches, and it paid off there, getting on base. All right, at bat number 2, the same pitcher's still out there. We're in the 5th, though. This doesn't bode well for a 3rd plate appearance. Please drop, because I don't want the at-bat to be over on 1 pitch. Come on. I just wanted to hit. All right, we are getting our next at-bat in the 7th, and it still is the same pitcher. I just don't expand the zone this time. Come on. Ah, and I hit it on the ground. I timed it up, but all they were throwing was high fastballs, so I ended up a little on top of it. All right, I'm behind the plate here. I'm about to throw out Bryce Harper, because we're playing the Iron Pigs, and Bryce Harper's injured in real life, so that means he's down here in AAA. There he is. Look at him. We'll see him again next year. That's scary, though, man. The Phillies are so far in front of our division, and they don't even have Harper. All right, we're getting one more chance at the plate. They brought in a righty, though. Yeah, okay, if I'm not hitting that, something's wrong with me. I think we just might be at that point early in the season that I'm slumping. So, I mean, we won the game, but it's not like that matters down here in AAA. Poor showing at the plate, failed to impress management. So not only is there no fast track, but we also add to our negative momentum just a little bit more. We gotta end this episode on a positive, though. I'm gonna play one more, and if it goes well, then we can, you know, we can feel good about something at least. We're about to get, oh, we didn't get swept. All right, I was fully expecting the sweep of the Phillies. All right, this is the last week, though, of scouting. So actually, I'm kind of scared to play the next moment because I don't want to do the draft in this episode. So I don't know. Play it by ear. All right, well, and it's not like we have any of them scouted fully yet, but this catcher class is not a very strong one, so I doubt I even end up picking one, but I'm just gonna leave the scouting how it is, because I feel like if nothing else, if our plan goes wrong or something and we have a pick or two at the end, drafting a random catcher just to potentially have a backup catcher at some point couldn't hurt. Guess we wouldn't have really had to worry about that, though, if I came through in that last game with Pineda, because then both of our catchers would be young and we could just hold on to them for the rest of the series. But we're going to leave it how it is, advance one last time, lose the series to the Phillies, and we have another trade opportunity. And these might be some big ones because this first one is CJ Cron from the Rockies. He's having a decent enough year, but all of his stuff is going down. It's asking us to give up Robert Hassel and Tim Cate here, who actually, if he is a fast track at some point, he could be decent. But yeah, I don't really want to give up Hassel, even though he's got a long way to go. Especially now, I don't know exactly what our record is, but you'd have to imagine we're back down to about 500 now, so we might have to think realistically and kind of accept the fact that we might not be quite ready for our first playoff appearance yet this season. All of our trades have kind of fit a similar mold though, of people that we not only would be good now with, it'd be good for our team now, but also we hang on to them for a while. So that would kind of have to be what we get out of a trade here to do it, because Cron, you know, he's just a half-season rental. So I don't see a reason for that. So Red Sox, they want to give up Paxton for actually 3 pretty decent looking prospects. I know they're all C potentials, but especially Bennett and Barley, both pretty young, all of them in the 60s. So they definitely have a chance to reach that potential. I don't think I want to do this one either for a declining rental pitcher. So what about the D-backs? Last trade, it's Chafin. Oh no, this dude is a March to October legend. I can't remember. I think it was MLB 21. Was it Brewers and later Cubs March to Octobers? I had him for both of those, and he was unbelievable on the mound. It was like every single Andrew Chafin outing looked the same. He could throw like 2 innings on 10 pitches or less and get everybody out. Seemed like he did it every time. But this is a pretty steep asking price for him. It would be kind of fun though to steal both 30 whatever year old C potential relievers, because we already did trade for Mantiply. They're both 32, same overall. So it would be funny to also snag Chafin, but I think they're asking for a bit more. These 2 guys, both in that Red Sox trade that I didn't really want to get rid of, and then Chavis, who, like, still, if we could call up Chavis, that would be kind of nice. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do this trade, because this Jake Bennett guy at 22 years old, progressing the way he is, if he gets a fast track like next year, he could instantly, I mean, we saw Adone starting at like a similar overall, and now he's a B potential 75 overall. So I think I'm going to decline all of these trades, because actually I didn't even think about this. We would have Chafin for a second year, so it's not just a rental. But yeah, for what we're giving up, I think we'll leave things be and go ahead and move on here. Decline, and we have a game against the Reds. Finish strong for a morale boosting win. We're losing again. We haven't fully dropped back down to 500 though. We are 44 and 41. The Phillies actually are on a bit of a rough stretch, so the Mets are kind of catching up. I think though, and I know that this will probably be a short video and all I did was suck in 2 player lock moments, but I really want to save the draft for like its own thing. I don't want to just tack it on at the end of an episode here, and I'm worried that if I just go ahead and play this game, it'll send me straight into the draft and not even like give me an option to go to it myself. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just put me in the draft and say it's time to go. So I think even though this was a bit of a deflating episode, I'm gonna end it here. Maybe if I'm feeling good about things, I won't wait 2 days to get the next one up, and maybe we'll see it tomorrow. No promises there, but maybe. But yeah, I don't know. If nothing else, it's a little bit more time to hopefully get things right and not hop into yet another game while I'm still playing as bad as I am. So yep, that is gonna do it for me today, guys. Make sure as always, if you enjoy this video or if you enjoy this series, because I don't know if this video is enough to get your like, but hit that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, I don't plan on every episode of this being this deflating, so hit that subscribe button for the good times. Make sure you don't miss it. But that is gonna do it for us today, guys. Again, sorry for a disappointing episode, but it'll get better. So thanks for watching today. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time.